I'm going to start looking into where I'm going to put all this electrical gubbins. Right, next, I have scribbled some notes down for the wiring loom. But we need to figure out how we're going to fit it all. Easy bits first, I can put them back in the bag. 10 amp fuse, that'll live in here where there's actually space. That's your feed from your battery. Likewise, it's your battery connectors, so that'll go in there. There's a little plate here that comes out to fit in one of the spring connectors for the stock battery tray. That goes through there nicely. Little connectors. These will go from the power switch on the other side of the shell into the main circuit on this side. So I'll need to be aware of what this is attaching into your power MOSFET and a little resistor that goes with it. Resistor will just wrap around the top. So it's these two main components. Now, conveniently enough, where the ferrite used to go in here, looks to be a pretty good fit for the size of this relay. I'll say that. I want to figure out how exactly to fit it. But if I can get it in there, that'd be pretty nice because that'll keep it nice and snug. So then there's plenty of space. I can try and be smart even with the wires up here, the battery tray. And the MOSFET will just sit in there somewhere. Now, it'll require me some thought, but it's good to know there's tons of space. So let's do some mild shell modification. As a note, this used to hold a ferrule there. So inside the shell is a thing that pushes down, so that may require some trimming at some point, but that will just help push it all, hold it all into place. So here's my side cutters. I'll use them to cut out the side of this, all the way down to the bottom. Oh yeah, I should have. Oh, done. Alright, just as a note, these two little ones here, that's the coil on the relay, and that'll be driven by the mechanism switch. So I suppose in theory these only need to snake around down there, and these top ones are the ones that take the load. So one of these is going to have power coming in from the battery, and actually both of these will connect to the same side of the motor. Reason being, at rest it'll be off, and the normally closed part of the contact will actually bridge both sides of the motor, give you motor braking. And when the mech switch activates the coil, it'll flip it in the other direction, complete the circuit, and we'll have life. There you go, it's a good fit. It's actually looser than I intended. Right, there's a slight curvature there on the relay which puts the coil down. But due to a slight curve in the shell, it fits in there nicely. So I think I will go with that way up. Right, there is some existing down there, little grippy things, teeth here, wires can go in. May end up reusing some of those for routing some of these wires. So these will use the existing path and snake down here. I'm not going to put them in there because they're a pain in the bum. I'm going to have them a bit loose when I bring them down to solder into here anyway. The on-off switch, I'm going to have plenty of spare cable, particularly when I'm adding the disconnect on there. Just leaves me ohing and ahhing about where to put the wires next. I need to figure out some idea of what wires go somewhere, because obviously easy enough these go here, main power routes are there. However, I need to take a tap off the battery because the power, I said this control the relay, but I need to take a tap off the battery to have something to actually be feeding through that. So actually what it really looked like is one of these going into the relay coil, one of them returning to battery positive, and the other side going into the permanent negative from the point of view of the relay running through the MOSFET. Oh, the idea with these wires, I've made the partial cuts into, so I can use these joints. That'll come off the middle pin there as a ground, go through the MOSFET onto there. The way the circuit works is normally the blue different wire will end up being connected via the relay to the ground, so it's got motor braking. When it's activated, it'll switch away from connecting the ground to connecting the blue to the live, at which point you're going power through the relay, through this, back through the MOSFET. I'm going to keep this long for now, because if I cut it short, I think I've cut the bed a bit too short. I'll have issues. This is sort of short, but bearing in mind we're connecting it to the 10 amp fuse to stop disasters. I did take an hour through of footage of me figuring out routing for the wires and soldering it all up. However, it's not the most interesting thing to watch, particularly the out of focus parts, so we're just going to be skipping over all of that. Right, apologies for the shaky cam. I'm doing this at the top of the stairs, so I've actually got some room. Here we have the Stampede. Just got it off. Both signs of life. There we go. Wonderfully noisy. Big and bad and noisy. I'll just drop a magazine into this. I have an 18 round Stampede magazine. There's 16 Rebel darts in it because they were what was lying around. According to data released by FDS, they should be looking at about 90 FPS on average. There we go. 16 darts, full auto, not a problem. I'm sure Brad will love it.